Hello, my friend. We are here to talk about neuroproductivity. I have a very special guest today that I'm going straight to the point to invite Bella on stage. So, how are you, Bella?
Hi, Edel. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm wonderful. Can't wait for our conversation.
Yeah, and it's literally a conversation. But before we start, just to share here, and I like to talk with everybody regarding neuroproductivity when we talk about emotional regulation, mental clarity for coherent actions. And once we are coherent in our actions, our results become sustainable. And sustainable results is something that we are looking for. I usually finish the podcast, but with you, I would like to talk about this. Because in our life, we are always looking for results. Results in the family, in the business, with our health. And I would like to hear from you, especially from your experience. You can talk a little bit about it because it will make a lot of sense in terms of results. And knowing that coherence, when we are coherent, that will generate the results. But I would like from you to tell me a little bit about your results, from your background, things, how you felt, and how you create your own message from the results that you're having or not having.
maybe from the results I'm not having.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
I really would love to delve into this because this is very much a topic that is reverberating right now in my life. Because I've accomplished a lot of different results in my professional life, in my personal life, and when you reflect back and see what do these results actually mean, and what do they bring us what we were looking for when we set out for that road in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So, I early on, I started studying health in every possible way. Health was kind of really fascinated me because I had my own chronic health issues, and so I started studying health. I can have a collection of all these diagnoses and just different. So early on, I realized, I have to find it inside of me. Like, what are the true answers? And first, of course, I went to try to understand the physical body. I went for the results in the physical body, right? So I studied nutrition. I studied personal training. I became like a holistic coach. And so I tried to apply all these skills to myself. And I got some results. So, my health definitely started getting better as I switched from different types of foods that make us feel bad to different foods that, are nourishing for us, right? So then I realized there was something missing. Then I went to study the mind. I went to study psychology at UCLA. So really delved into how does the mind really affect our health and what kind of result it brings.
And just to add a little bit thing here, because I know a lot, and I would definitely ask everybody who is listening to Bella now to go deep in her, I would say in her curriculum, because when she talks about studying here, studying there, all the studies that she's done is like deep study in very reference on the globe. So it is deep study, and she's profound. So I just wanted to add this because it's like from names and schools and companies, and your path has been very deep.
When I delve into something, I really want to understand it. And it was a very personal issue because I saw that it wasn't just me. There were a lot of people around me that were not getting the answers. And I really wanted to find what the answers were and how can we get people the results they need to feel better. That was my main goal. It wasn't even health. It was about feeling better.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was the body, then the mind. And then I kept delving deeper and deeper. And I realized also that there's a lot of things in our environment that are making us sick, and there are a lot of things in policies that we can change. So I went to do my master's in international health policy.
Yeah.
And then for a decade, I was, traveling around the globe, and that's how I discovered Brazil, actually, which is one of my. We'll get to Brazil, but that was one of the places that I really found some of the better and the most important answers.
And it's amazing that Bella speaks Portuguese fluently. It's amazing. And I was like, oh, you're not Brazilian, because she sounds Brazilian.
Maybe in my past life.
Yeah, probably.
Sure. But when I started doing public health and international health policy, I ended up traveling to a lot of incredible countries, Brazil, Latin American countries. I went to Africa, and I tried to understand like what are the conditions created externally that can help us feel better. So anyway, so it was like a lot of work around this until one day I'm in Brazil, and I have all this knowledge, and it's helping me like to a certain degree, but it's not giving me all the answers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's something beyond this, there's something that's missing. And it was incredible because I feel like it was really there where, like you Brazilians have this way of integrating like spirituality, body, mind, all in one, and like without even trying.
Yeah.
Here people are like very spiritual, but they like are really trying to be that way. It's almost like comes naturally in Brazil.
Yes.
And so I really absorbed, and I ended up moving to Brazil, but I really absorbed that way of just flowing with nature and connecting with the energy, and I realized that the answers weren't in all these external things. Like there are important answers. There are even pillars that I created in my methodology that can give us important results in nutrition and mental well-being and in changing our policies. All of these things are important, but ultimately health comes from within, and it's like that was an aha moment for me. And it was like inside a wave that I discovered.
That
This wasn't
triggers
even
me a question.
Yeah.
Because literally, because I was just observing you telling me this story, and I felt like it triggered, what is this within? Because probably this is what is missing or lacking in humanity when we say there are so many people talking about the spirituality or the path is within, and if we don't live within, but we've been looking at all this knowledge, all this experience, everything is from outside.
Yeah.
And literally and beautifully that you explained that you were looking, I know you did this path outside looking for all the answers because you're deep, but the answer is within, meaning it's when you reconnect to something that is truth, because it has to do with coherence. When I talk about coherence here in neuroproductivity, it has to do with that within. So what is that? What triggers us the within path? What is that for you?
That's a very good question, and I've every time I try to talk about it, it comes out in a different way. So I don't know what will come out
So
right now,
let's see it.
but this
Because
is
even to me, it's also, I don't even know why I did this questionnaire. I was
but
like,
if it was so easy, we would philosophies and religions and like everyone talks about it, but they all try to find different ways of expressing that inner wisdom, right? And for some reason right now when you ask me the questions, I just remembered, and I was like back in the Soviet Armenia in like our dark apartment with candles because we were going through war. And that was little Bella, like 6-year-old Bella, like marching around the carpet, like dancing and singing and being very lound and
we're gonna talk
obnoxious.
about this, okay? We are gonna. I know. I'm gonna talk about this, okay?
And I was, and that moment is like it reflects back to me what really feeling well means. That self-expression where you're not really even thinking about health. I think that's the problem. The moment we start thinking about like fixing symptoms, and that's when we're actually talking about disease, right? And that's why I actually abandoned my career, because I felt like I was constantly working with disease, And so instead of focusing on that, I this is what I try to help my clients do, and this is like what I try to do myself. Sometimes I forget too, but if we focus on that ultimate goal of like self-expression and being who we truly are, it's almost like our body just flows and follows there, and health becomes like the natural process, right?
Like or maybe an instrument, right? Or maybe just I don't know if it's a tool or if the vessel, like so many different,
like a vessel. Exactly. It is like our body is our divine vessel, and we often forget. We think we're so rational and so, and we forget that our body is the most important instrument. That we are here because we have a body, and that body, if it's misaligned, if we're doing something that's not And I've had this experience many times, it's like my body gets sick every time I'm not on the right path. It's like a
Yeah.
slap in the face, like, oh, you're doing that thing again, like go back to your path, and so in a way, that self-correction
Yeah.
always would bring me back to my health, so I think following your purpose has something very important to
It
do
is.
with. Like,
Yeah.
I would say that's one of the important things, but it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
I think the other really important, I call this pleasurable wellness or pleasurable well-being, and it's like a coined that coined that term when I was like living in Rio. It's almost like this effortless way of being inside your body and effortless living, and it's almost like that inner guide, So wherever you are, you have to know whether that feels good or doesn't feel good, right? And then you take a step to the right or you take a step to the left. And if it doesn't feel good, then you auto-correct. And that inner guide is that compass is, I think, what really guides us to our true well-being and true self-expression and all of that. So I think it's those two factors. It's like something that we're going towards, and that in conjunction with that inner
Yeah.
compass.
I like seeing in a way that it's like practicing what you know. In a sense that, okay, we look for some answers, we get the answer or we get some knowledge, and then we practice and we experience and we feel that, wow, this is something that it makes sense. And the more we get to know from outside and we reconnect to the inside, probably that connection gets the coherence. I don't know. I mean, this is just an experience. I say that neuroproductivity is a huge lab. And I love listening to stories like this because at the end of the day, what you're saying is exactly what I've lived. And when we see that it's the same,
Yeah.
the coherence
Right.
explodes. It's kind of that we know that we are in this field, and the field is exactly the same because we are one. We are not separated.
Yeah, exactly. And you stop thinking that you're a little cuckoo or
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And what the disease is probably this: my body not being part of the whole, part
No
of the
wonder it's
nature,
called
part of
dis-ease,
yeah,
right? It's like when you're out of ease. And
yeah,
for me, the feeling when it exactly expresses itself in this, like, not being, it's this
at
heaviness,
ease. Yeah,
this
yeah,
this
not being
lack
at
of
ease.
lightness,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
being at ease. So
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, it's absolutely.
So I would love to ask you for this, but I'm not gonna ask you because I think we are able to see Bella in different stages of life, and I know that you're gonna be on stage soon with us and in the Professional of the New Era event. It's very close. Are you excited? Can you share what all this program and all the meetings that we've been together, this beautiful constellation of people that we call the founders and we call the constellation of founders. What is the experience it been to you, and what is bringing the realization to it in your process of being well?
Yeah, I think it's really powerful when different people from different walks of life, and as we see with different health issues, different life problems, they come together on this path together to really create a new story. It's like I have been creating my story, so and so has been creating their story, and then you come to your own realizations, and it's powerful. But when you come together and you see that in reality all of us are on the same path and our stories are completely interconnected in like
Yeah.
these incredibly magical ways. When I read the book that we're writing together and saw how each story just like flows out of the other story, and how like everything is reflected
Yeah.
in each other's stories, it's not only reinforces that you're on the right path, but I think it also creates this incredible electromagnetic
Yeah,
field
field.
that's extremely
Of
healing,
oneness.
of oneness, of healing, of getting even deeper into your purpose. And so I'm really grateful for for your bringing us together.
And thank you so much for trusting, because it is opened the door for that trust. And and this is what I was about to ask you, okay? But I'm not gonna ask, which is Bella has the most beautiful, amazing voice that I've ever heard, and I would like to leave this information to everyone here, because if you can take a chance, maybe I can leave. I don't know where I should do this, down here or down there or whatever, but I don't even know where the video is going and what we're gonna be using this video at. But anyway, somehow you're gonna find, and hopefully you can find, and I would definitely recommend you to listen to Bella when she's singing, because it's the vibration that she emanates and, and liberates when her voice goes to the world. And that was probably the hidden thing that it was missing when I always, throughout the process, throughout the classes, that I was saying, Bella, there's something missing. There was something missing. And how was that to you when I felt it, when I listened to that song you're singing on stage? And I said, Bella, I found it, right? And that was amazing. Yeah. Right.
It's before I'll think about if I sing or not sing.
No, you still think you can. I would
I'm
love
thinking
it.
about it.
I don't know. I mean, oh my gosh, this would be amazing. Oh, come on, stay tuned.
No, but what I did want to say is, it's interesting because when I was living in Brazil, one of the other things that happened is as I sort of started taking off these layers of, who I have to be and what I have to do, and all these like, I have a master's in this, so I have to be following that path, and that's a very Soviet mentality,
which is very deep, because all your path has been very deep. I mean, you have
accomplished
good classes,
a lot, and, check mark,
very deep. I mean, like in the high, probably top 1-2% of the world.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You get there and you're like,
what is it?
Really? This is what I'm. So when actually, I think it was around the time when my daughter was born, I was going through this crisis, and I was like, you know what? This is a great time to at least take a pause.
Yeah.
And then, all of a sudden, it was just incredible, because all these things started coming out of me, like these creations started coming out of me. One of them was basically like a whole album we wrote that I haven't even released.
You will. I know you will.
But it was incredible because it had at the basis it's Armenian music, like very ancient music with a lot of like sad, it's the history that we carry, that I carry in my DNA.
Yeah.
But it was, I feel like as I was recording, it was like transmuting that pain and that ancestry from my body, because I was doing it in collaboration with this incredible Brazilian producer who was like bringing the Brazilian influence into it, and somehow we were just changing those melodies into a healing music. And for
Which
me,
is great when we interact. You see the power of interaction and connectivity.
Yeah, and so music became, for me, it's been like really healing. So like bringing it out is what really, like, it's not just self-expression. No. It's healing. So.
And are we ready to share that, or? Okay. I did this to Bella in one of the classes, and I was not expecting. I think she was not expecting either, and she beautifully did this too. And the other speakers that were live, they sent me a message to say, you have no idea how much that voice and that song healed the process that I was going through. And that's why I said, I don't want to ask you, but I mean, I feel you're ready. I love it.
Well,
because
I don't know if this microphone gonna withstand the craziness of the voice.
Yeah, because I mean, it's live. But anyway, let's not try. Let's just do it.
It's a song that actually accidentally came on today as I was in a session with you in the group, and the song just started playing out of nowhere. So I guess it's going to be that song.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's see what it is. I'll feel it. Thank you so much for trusting.
Amen. Ai sartit bachat elasir aistai. Oh
nothing to say. Just thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you see, I mean, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Nothing. I feel it. I don't even know how to. I mean, no, I'm not gonna ask you to say anything else. Just hope everybody is feeling that. And thank you so much for watching this podcast today about neuroproductivity. Wow, I got something like that is coherence. Coherence is when we get the truth within us because we don't need to look for anything else outside because the real truth is within. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on our next podcast. Holy moly.